everybody. Welcome to episode 5 of Punks and Pinfalls. I'm Gigi, joined as always by C-Dub.
Hey.
And special guest in the studio with us this week, the host of Real Alien Talk, SG1.
Yeah, welcome to the Scary Gary Experience podcast with my co-host Gigi and C-Dub. Actually, episode 5. A month and a week, counting?
Yeah, we're officially 2 months deep into our show here on the Rockstar Pro Broadcast Network podcast. It's got a few different names. The Podcast Network. But the URL says Rockstar Pro Channel.
Correct.
It's computers.
High tech.
Fancy, huh? So, Real Alien Talk will be returning next week.
A brief hiatus while my partner has gone missing. Perhaps in the Bermuda Triangle, perhaps wandering around Chinatown. You never know with Ben.
Never know. He might find the Grail and got kidnapped.
He may be on the mission for the Grail. You never know.
I keep waiting about that Grail story.
That story is coming. Believe it or not, it's going to be better than ever.
That's the ultimate teaser for Real Alien Talk. I think anyone who's listened to the podcast, we're just waiting to hear this Grail story.
Your Holy Grail is literally the Holy Grail.
It will be a 1 hour plus, at least 60 minutes of the Grail story.
It'll be like on the old 70s sitcoms when the little kids got molested, and it was a very special episode.
A very special episode.
Very special episode. Whenever whenever comedies have a drama, it's a very special episode.
The whisper voice.
Yeah, whisper.
So, we're coming off a wild and crazy night last night at Rockstar Pro Arena. Our monthly pay-per-view taping, our 3-year anniversary of Rockstar Pro Arena. The event was nuts. Everyone who was in attendance, packed house. Thank you, Rockstar Nation. It was a hell of a show, and look for this week. The links will be up on RockstarProWrestling.com and on our Facebook. But this week it will be available to stream on DIYWrestling.com. So be on the lookout for that. The pay-per-view will be up online within the next few days. And it was a great show. You just have to order the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm. And also our DVDs will be available probably, I'm guessing, a couple weeks also that you can order from RockstarProWrestling.com. Go to the shop there and you can get the DVDs. And the DVDs contain a couple extra matches just because of the technology. You're kind of limited to how much you can download onto servers nowadays. So to get a couple extra bonus matches, get the DVD. It's actually worth a little bit extra money.
Yes, through DIYWrestling.com, we have some time constraints on our pay-per-views. So yeah, the DVD, buying the hard copy, you get extra stuff. It's like, you buy a DVD or Blu-ray, you get the bonus footage.
Will this be available on VHS or beta? Is my question.
Only if we can get in the SG1 Tron time machine.
Okay, fair enough. I'll take that as a no.
Every time I see somebody that has like an old school flip phone, I ask them if they have to step into a time machine to use it.
Flip phone. But yeah, last night was awesome. Last night was really good.
Unfucking believable is the word for last night.
Yes, carnage and barbed wire and broken boards covered in barbed wire and aerial assault with words cannot describe. You want to order the pay-per-view when it comes out on DVD. You're going to want to buy the DVD. I wish I could shill like Joey Styles. Joey Styles made you really want to order that pay-per-view. All right. Punks and Pinfalls. Every week we're really loosely formatted. We hang out and we just kind of talk about what's going on in indie wrestling, what's going on in indie music. There's always all kinds of concerts coming to Rockstar Pro Arena. So, again, we got to put over all of the different facets. There's Rockstar Pro Wrestling.com for all your wrestling news, and then RockstarProArena.com for all your concert news. And hey, let's do a quick recap. I usually wait until the last minute and we're about out of time and we go, oh crap, I gotta plug all these concerts real quick. So let's get that in early. Saturday, February 21st, Hail to the King. Again, if you've been listening to the podcast every week that we've been plugging the upcoming concerts, it's their name change. They're changing their name, announcing their new name at the concert, their last performance as Hail to the King. Also on that show, The Initiative will be performing a reunion show. Absent Youth, Eternal Void, Believe, and When Tigers Broke Free. Advance tickets are $10. And then a week later, Friday, February 27th, Lorna Shore will be coming back to Rockstar Pro Arena. 7 p.m. show. Also on that, local support from Ascension, Oracle, and Grayscale Blonde. And then the very next night, my own band, Legbone. Because we're old dudes, how far back do we go musically, Scary Gary? When do you think?
When you said old dudes, you kind of just throw everybody together. Like, I'm 23 myself. You guys kind of lump us all together.
Anyway, it's that time machine he has. You and I have known each other through local music scene circles before we were both in the wrestling business.
Correct. I've known you 10 years, I guess I would say. 2004-ish was when I think I met you.
Probably
we'd seen each other around for many, many shows. I don't think we actually met until...
You guys are too shy to talk to each other.
I remember the first time
we had to set up a play date.
We bro down. The first time we really broed down was at Elbows. He was wearing a Gold Dust shirt.
Yes.
And I was like, dude. And that was it. That started the conversation. And I'm like, oh, that crazy dude who does insane, like, industrial, I don't know, no offense, I don't know what you call it, just wild noise insanity under the name Jakarudu.
I still don't know what to call it.
99. How many numbers do you have?
Anything to explain to my life, I have no answer for any of it. I've given up trying to make sense of my own life. I am what I am. Jakarudu 99. That's the final level, actually. I started as 3, went to 23, and 99 is the final form, like a Pokemon.
Yeah.
There's no 11.
No,
we
skipped all that.
I feel
shit.
like an entire episode of your show, Real Alien Talk, could be based around just the Jakarudu numbers.
We'll get into that. So that'll be another very special episode.
Yeah, and what the blue and the pink means, and
we'll get into that.
That's some old school. I'm old school Life Power Church. So anyway, that tangent. Gary and I have known each other a long time. Chad and I have known each other a long time. All of us have been actively involved in the local music scene, performing, promoting. So my own band, Legbone, will be playing at the arena Saturday, February 28th. And it's funny, the other day, I don't even remember who I was talking to, but it came up in conversation. Somebody said, "Oh, that's pretty cool. It must be convenient for your band. You own a venue." And I'm like, this is going to be the third time in 3 years that Legbone has played there. We average playing there once a year. So it is kind of a special occasion, because, I can't use and abuse it. You don't want to become the house band and you're playing the same venue every
Plus
year.
your bandmates would probably try to move in or something. Stay there for a while.
You gotta pay some rent.
That's the thing, the Rockstar Pro shows being all ages, we usually end a little early. We try to have the concerts usually over with before midnight. Mm-hmm. And, my guys will hang out and drink until 3 a.m, and you have to pull the you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. But on February 28th, also on that show with us is Chubb City, another tie-in with Rockstar Pro, because one of our backstage interviewer, color commentator guys, Switchblade Jake Neely, is in Chubb City. So check out his band. Call It December from Springfield, Ohio. Pariah. And Yerf featuring Bo, who is a sound man at a lot of the concerts at Rockstar Pro. And then in March, Survive This, with local support from the Paramedic, Tuesday, March 3rd. A week later, Thursday, March 12th, Full of Hell returns. Full of Hell's been to the arena before. They're insane.
There are entrance music for this episode?
Yes. The last 2 episodes, we've started the show with a blast of Full of Hell. And local support from Grim State. More bands to be announced. And then the next night, Friday, March 13th. Yes, Friday the 13th. We're going to have a horror punk show. Fort Wayne, Indiana's Grave Robber will be in the house. If you've never seen them, they're wild. They all look like the Crypt Keeper. They wear these skull masks and these cloaks, and they look like zombies. and they're fun, woeo, spooky rock, Misfits inspired.
Classic horror punk.
Yeah, it's funny. Wretched, their singer. We're old buddies. We I don't know if I'm supposed to say he's gimmicked. We were in a band together a long time ago when he wasn't in that mask. when he wasn't a zombie, I guess before he died.
He's a zombie before he died.
Before he died, we were in a band together. So I've known that dude a long time.
Living and dying.
Grave Robber is a fantastic band, and we were having a conversation online the other day because he said, why is it if you're in a horror punk band, the immediate cheap shot is, oh, you're a Misfits ripoff? He goes, how come nobody says, oh, you're in a hardcore band? That means you're an Agnostic Front ripoff. Any little subgenre, just pick like the most famous band or the most influential band and say, oh, you're a ripoff of that. But horror punk specifically, if your band likes horror movies or wears eyeliner or whatever, you're a Misfits ripoff. It's like, no, man, maybe I'm really into The Damned. It doesn't necessarily have to be the Misfits.
Dave Vanian.
Yes, he is.
Who the Misfits actually tried to get to sing when they reformed.
Yes, they tried to recruit him.
I believe he blew him off. I don't know. I don't know the exact story on that, but
Word
he
on the
wasn't
street.
interested. Yeah.
Oh, man, but yeah, so tangent. And we're distracted as always. Chad always has the WWE Network up in the studio, so we get zoned out and go, oh my god, it's, Barry Windham from such and such year or whatever. Actually, I think, is that actually Kendall Windham?
It might be, but we went YouTube today.
Kendall Windham versus George South.
That's
George
hilarious.
South, out of his fucking mind. I used him for a show.
Oh, really?
Love him to death. He's in that Jamie Dundee territory.
That's hilarious. I just
Great
made the
guy.
joke,
Out of his
Barry
fucking
Windham,
mind.
and it turned out to be Kendall. Look up. But again, we go on tangents. That's part of the fun of this podcast, right? We try to keep it loose, and we try to just BS about music and pro wrestling. And thank you all for listening. Again, episode 5. Oh, there!
Widow was watching the brother.
Yeah, we do have an appearance by the Widowmaker.
And on all our concerts, if you want tickets, you can go to Rockstar Pro Arena, and there's links to Ticket Rumba, and you can purchase all tickets in advance and save a couple bucks.
Yes. So, again, that's a bunch of concerts coming up. Check out both websites, rockstarprowrestling.com, rockstarproarena.com. Check us out on Facebook. Other things that are going to be coming up at the arena, in between all those concerts, Friday, March 6th, will be our next iPay-per-view. So, Rockstar Pro Wrestling returns to iPay-per-view every month. And it's going to be a wild show. Already announced the Bulldozer Matt Tremont versus the Pitbull Ganger. A show of respect. Two tough, rugged dudes who both have a reputation of going hardcore. And they actually like each other. They're actually friends. This isn't a blood feud. This is two guys saying, hey, I hear you're tough. I hear you're hardcore. We were in that triple threat match, and yeah, you were pretty hardcore. Hey, let's do it just one-on-one. So, you like it stiff, you like it snug, you want to hear dudes beating each other up and hitting each other with crazy, wild gimmicks. Like, that match is going to be crazy.
I'd be scared if I was a chair in an arena.
Oh, damn, hardcore matches. These people don't realize just the budget alone, if you run a professional wrestling company, chairs alone.
Chairs can be a currency. They're like the cigarettes of prison. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, sometimes I'll trade anything for some chairs.
This upcoming match will be the third confrontation between these two, right?
Yeah. Well, they haven't had a one-on-one.
Yeah, they have not had a singles match. They've had altercations, and they were involved in that triple threat match a while back. Again, all the old pay-per-views available at DIYwrestling.com. And yeah, two tough dudes. It's just mutual respect. It's like, hey, let's beat each other up and entertain these fans.
I remember when the first times I saw them in the ring together. It's interesting because you usually see one of them versus somebody, and they're usually the gorilla or the intimidator. Like, oh shit, that guy's gonna kill that guy. But when you see them both in the ring together, you're like, holy shit, it's like both two guys are going to kill it, so it's, you never know what's going to happen with that match. It's always good stuff.
All right.
But yeah, we saw some indie news, wrestling news we saw.
Outside of the world of Rockstar, for all you local fans who follow indie wrestling or follow WWE. There's a world of indie wrestling out there. There's so many different feds around the country and around the world, and including our sister promotion, CZW. Their next big iPay-per-view event is going to be at the old ECW Arena, the old bingo hall in Philly. And that'll be CZW 16. And they have usually always done the delayed iPay-per-views, and their website says live.
Oh, it says live.
That one. So I'm not sure if that one's going to be delayed or if that's actually going to be live in real time. Check czwrestling.com for more news on that. But yeah, CZW's next big iPay-per-view event, February 21st, 4 p.m., $20 ticket, the old ECW Arena in Philly. And there will be a WSU World Championship match, Lufisto defending against Shayna. So definitely check out CZW's next big show.
This week's good stuff.
Also in the indie wrestling world, we've been really excited that right now is a great time to be a wrestling fan. And it's funny, under the conspiracy of the hashtag cancel WWE Network, fans that were so disgruntled with this year's Royal Rumble, just like they were last year, there was a lot of talk that probably really scared shareholders. Being a publicly traded company, I'm sure it made them nervous seeing hashtag cancel your damn network trending worldwide. So, but yeah, in the world of WWE Network with NXT on, Lucha Underground, AAA Lucha Wrestling out of Mexico has an American TV show. I love that Robert Rodriguez, and the El Rey Network is a cool network if you're into cool, B movies, and they play some really cool stuff on that network.
I do like the Lucha Underground, the way it's filmed and storylines. They're not trying to throw 10,000 things at you right now. They're very limited what they're trying to put across characters and what wrestlers they have and what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
This is definitely my favorite wrestling show currently on the air right now. Like I look forward to each episode.
And for those of you who haven't seen it, again, it's traditional Mexican lucha libre for the gringos. And their announce team is a former WWE announcer, Matt Stryker, not to be confused with the local indie wrestler that was based out of Cincinnati, Matt Stryker. But WWE's Matt Stryker is one of their play-by-play guys, and their other announcer is Vampiro, the Canadian vampire. Remember Vampiro from the old WCW days? He's a legend in Mexico. So I thought that was a really good choice for their color commentary team. And they're doing really cool things. I really like the show. I like the feel of it. The temple, it has this like underground fight club kind of feel to it.
And the way they shoot promos, with the was it the Hesse or I don't know what's the main guy?
El Jefe.
El Jefe. Yeah.
The way Cuerto.
Yeah. And
Diego Cuerto, I believe, is the owner.
And the way they just shoot it in like his office,
it was brilliant.
Yeah.
By the way.
No, it's really good and stuff. And didn't we see there were some people that actually...
Oh, yeah. We were hearing hot rumors that in addition to their already existing roster, they have former WWE superstar John Morrison has reinvented himself there as Johnny Mundo. And he's the token white boy. He's the gringo because they do film in L.A. and he's from L.A. and worked out. And he can keep up with the luchadors. He can do a lot of crazy high flying. He does that crazy parkour training.
It fits his style.
So yeah, it's a great place for his talent to shine. And we're hearing rumblings of some indie stars that are getting a look and might be coming there soon, including Willie Mack, who just recently won the Red Carpet Rumble at Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, and also former AAA Cruiserweight Champion Jack Evans, Olympic wrestler Jeff Cobb, and former Tough Enough contestant Martin Koussis, maybe? I don't remember if I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. But yeah, all getting a look at by... Lucha Underground, and the one we were most excited about is a Rockstar Pro. The Swerve, Shane Strickland. He's been to the Rockstar Pro Arena. Our fans have seen him several times, and we're really excited that he's getting a look by Lucha Underground, and we might be seeing Shane Strickland debuting on national television here soon.
He would match them also.
Oh yeah, again,
style and everything.
The high flying, high impact, high velocity, fast-paced, cruiserweight, lucha style.
Willie Mack would be the one that was like, what are they going to do? He's not a high flying, but he can go. He can go, but...
Anyone in the industry, anyone who knows anything about lucha, he'll be the base.
Yes.
He's the big rugged dude that's going to throw them cruiserweights around.
And Jack Evans, because when we were looking at things, they said they already had... Jack Evans was one you'll probably see on TV first, because they already had storylines written for him, and they're ready to go. I wonder if he's going to do his usual kind of white boy rapper kind of gimmick, or is he going to be in a mask, or what? It'd be kind of interesting.
I don't know. They've taken like some kind of weird routes with some of the guys. Like some guys have a mask that they've adapted. Like kind of Matt Cross has a new character there. He plays a unique role in Lucha Underground for the American audience. Well, I think it's kind of cool. We mentioned CZW coming to the ECW arena pretty soon. Kind of the same way the Lucha Underground Temple was like a character in itself, kind of like the ECW arena was. You know, that was just an important character on the show. You know, where the events took place. Like I see their warehouse kind of like that. It's like another character for the show. It has its own environment. It's like it's unique. It's like an old warehouse, you know. It's kind of has like a Fight Club type.
Yeah, it's a great setting.
Kind of like a Wrestling Society X had like their little arena.
Yeah. I used to love the feel of that show and the Underground Fight Club. And it's funny that Vampiro was on both.
Yeah, that's true. Is Vampiro? He's done. Is he physically unable to perform, or do you guys know?
I don't know. I haven't been following what he's been doing.
I haven't seen him actually wrestle in a while, so I don't know.
Yeah. It does, though. If you've been following their television, it seems they've kind of planted some seeds that him and Conan will eventually kind of reignite their feud. He's dropped some hints on commentary that you can't trust Conan, you know, we'll look out for, you know. He has that perspective of being an old enemy of Conan. It seems they're going to reignite that feud at some point.
I do like Conan's character on the show because he's like the Mickey of the
he is a grizzled veteran.
Yeah,
and it kind of, I mean, he has the health problems, which kind of that's unfortunate, but it kind of adds to that role. He has to walk with a cane. You know, he's the guy that's done all that. He's the elder luchador that's been through all that.
Very believable in that role.
Yeah.
Very believable in that.
Oh
role.
yeah.
But yeah, some of those signings, I think, you know, if they added Shane, Willie Mack. I thought Willie Mack. I've watched Hollywood wrestling, and I do enjoy Willie Mack. I do find him entertaining. A guy for his size, he can move very well. I believe, as his character as Willie Mack, he plays that very well. But I don't know how well that would transform into him doing something else other than that character. You know what I mean?
We will
same thing with Jack Evans. Like, I'm sure he can do other things, but I always put him in that yo guy kind of character, and he plays it well, you know. Even if you kind of change it where he's a dancer, or he's just a rap guy, or he's just a hood guy, kind of the same character, but he plays it well. So I'm wondering, they don't have that in Lucha Underground, so I wonder if they could add him to it. So
yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
Real interesting.
Another interesting indie signing that we just recently saw. The former Chosen One. Most recently, he spent time getting jobbed out on Superstars and Main Event. Drew McIntyre, WWE's Drew McIntyre, spent the last, year maybe in WWE as part of the three-man band, 3MB. But before that, do you remember when he was the Chosen One?
Yes.
He was Vince's hand-picked golden boy. He was the future, and he was Intercontinental Champion, and then I just wonder, man, who did he piss off?
yeah, who did he piss off?
They were very high on him at one point, and something happened because they weren't high on him by the end.
Yeah, it was like a pummeled, like
he just got jobbed out week after week, and eventually got released. And I don't know, I believe this is his real last name is Galloway, but Drew Galloway has just been signed to TNA. So again, TNA recently switched networks, and they're kind of shaking things up, trying to survive and rebrand. And there's just so much wrestling on television right now with Lucha Underground, Ring of Honor, TNA, and of course WWE produces 5 hours of cable television every week, and now they have their own network that produces. Man, they have NXT. Main Event and Superstars all air on the network now. And then they do original specials and in-studio things, and it's just like, man, how many hours of television do they have to produce?
Mm-hmm.
It's really unbelievable when you think about it. Like, all of us in our age bracket, we kind of waited, like, for 1 hour of wrestling, like, Saturday afternoons. Like, you could wait the whole week. And now it kind of blows your mind of just how many hours of programming that's currently you can watch, you can access today, you know?
It kind of goes back to the thing, you know, two things is, we brought out the fact that, you know, before the network, pay-per-views were a big deal because you got with your buddies and, you know, it was kind of get food and everything and hang out.
Yeah.
And I felt the same thing with Monday nights. It used to be when it was just Monday night that, like, even if you watched WCW or Raw or went back and forth, everybody hung out that night and watched it that night. And then you were so excited that it was Monday and it was back on that, you know, it's crazy. It's so saturated. I mean, between... I honestly, TNA, I'll turn on every once in a while. If there's a match I want to watch, I'll watch that one, and then I'm done. You know, it hasn't really... There's not a storyline or anything that's really grabbed me right now.
Yeah.
For me, like, Lucha Underground is what I'll watch on TV if it's on. It's a little bit shorter. It seems to go a little bit, and I'm more intrigued in the characters and everything. It's a little bit different, where TNA's not.
It's really refreshing kind of being a 1 hour show.
Yes.
Like, especially, like, with Raw being 3 hours nowadays. I mean, it's kind of a... To watch that live on a Monday night, that's like a serious commitment.
Yeah.
3 hours.
Yeah, I never watch it live anymore, ever. My girlfriend and I watch Gotham, and then when she goes to bed, I watch it on the DVR so I can fast forward through all the bullshit I don't care about.
Anyone I know that's watching it is watching on DVR. Sometimes they watch it Tuesday or Wednesday, you know, like, that's a serious commitment, 3 hours. But it's really refreshing when you watch AAA, like 1 hour, and you're left with wanting more.
Yeah, you're left with wanting more.
So you want to see the next week.
And I feel they don't have to go with storylines they don't necessarily agree there are strong storylines.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just to fill time.
Yeah.
Because WWE product, honestly, the show I watch is NXT.
Yep.
You know, I can watch that whenever I want on the network, you know?
Yeah.
And again, 1 hour show.
It's 1 hour.
2 hours when they do their big, you know, basically the equivalent of a pay-per-view. But yeah, it's a 1 hour show, and they're really utilizing their talent correctly. Like NXT this week's episode of NXT was Finn Balor versus Hideo Itami, and the live audience in the NXT arena, whatever it's Full Sail University, whatever. The live NXT crowd started chanting "Better than Raw, better than Raw." You know, like, I wonder how the suits reacted to that when they heard that. You know, I wonder how the WWE execs feel about their developmental show is getting more over than the big cable show.
Or people care about storylines in NXT when they don't in Raw, and it's not because obviously you have these characters in Raw that more people know and stuff, or NXT they're newer guys. Why? Obviously people should care more about the Raw stories and be more involved in those than these new guys, but I find it reversed. More people seem to care about these newer guys, you know? And so, I don't know. If I was WWE, I'd be looking at NXT going, holy shit. Especially look at the live event. You know, NXT's coming to Columbus, and you can't even get a ticket now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it sold out immediately, and now people are scalping them online for like $500.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, hell, Raw, you can walk in the day before and get a ticket if you want.
In this area, like SmackDown or Raw comes at least maybe
twice.
Yeah.
Once, twice a year?
Yeah, once a piece. Like, I mean, those tickets, they're just not in high demand to be honest.
Case in point, Raw's in Columbus this week, and SmackDown is in Dayton. So this week, I wonder how many of our local wrestling fans will be checking out the E when they come to town. And it's funny watching their programming. As there's this reaction to, you know, again, fans were kind of disgruntled in the product. And things are different, you know. Back in the day, in the 80s, they just told you this is the good guy and this is the bad guy and this is who you cheer and this is who you boo, and fans just sort of took it. You know, fans are smarter to the product. You know, there's no such thing as a smart mark now. In the age of internet, everybody knows everything. And, you know, how do you evolve in that? And, you know, WWE's calling it the reality era now, because they realize that, like, when did that never happened when we were a kid, that like the live audience would like hijack a show.
No,
you know, when the live audience would just shit on a finish.
ECW was probably the start of, you know.
It's definitely a new age where fans kind of see themselves more as like activists than in the past.
And the crowd shitting on the especially the Rumble, like, I blame WWE for that. What the hell did you expect? You went to Philadelphia, like, of all damn cities to go to, and you're like, why is the crowd being such assholes?
Exactly.
It's Philadelphia.
Exactly.
Like, that's what they do. Watch a goddamn Eagles game. Guys on the Eagles who make millions of dollars, they still call them assholes and can't play. Yeah. You know what I mean? So,
like any history of sporting events in that city have always, I mean, it attracts a different rowdier type of fan.
Oh, yeah. Why do you think Rocky was set in Philly?
Right.
You know, Rocky Balboa's character was supposed to be from Philadelphia. They're a strange breed there. They're a tough, rugged town, and they're very vocal and passionate. Mm-hmm. That's always my favorite thing that we get when we bring in like old ECW guys to Rockstar is hearing Dreamer, hearing Rhino, hearing Sabu, hearing those guys say like, "Oh man, I love this place. It reminds me of the old bingo hall in Philly."
Yeah,
because we have that type of crowd who, like, the Dayton fans aren't going to just bend over and take it. They're going to decide who they like and who entertains them and who they're going to cheer for.
Mm-hmm.
And especially in certain markets, especially in the Northeast, WWE is contending with that. Those indie fans who are tuning out because they can watch Ring of Honor, they can watch Triple A Lucha Underground, they can watch TNA. There's so many other alternatives out there. Now, of course, WWE is the big time. It's not like it was during the Monday Night Wars. There's not a company that's so big that they're a real threat or they're drawing nearly the ratings the ER. But, there are a strong segment of vocal fans that, chant same old shit.
Mm-hmm.
They've seen all the same old shit. There's so many options today of what they want to see. So much programming, like we talked about before. They can find whatever they do like.
I think it comes down to there is just too much WWE product on TV. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's too much. You can't have quality when you're spending it that thin.
You just again, people don't realize all of the behind the scenes crap that goes on. Last night's pay-per-view, I was about to blow a gasket the whole night. You're running around juggling 1,000 things, trying to make sure the lights are working and the PA is working and everybody's entrance music is queued up and there's just making sure okay, what's the next match? Are those guys ready to go and have them queued? There's just so much that goes on in the production. And I can't imagine, like, having to write and produce and edit and, of course they have a multi-million-dollar budget. Mm-hmm. But, like, can you just imagine? That's why their show sucks. There's too many cooks in the kitchen. They got this Hollywood writing team that aren't really, none of them have ever been in the ring. None of them have a history in the wrestling business.
Right.
And then so they're, writing for the casual fan and alienating the wrestling fan.
Well, Gary, we got a little time here. Any real alien talk? Anything?
Real alien talk?
I'll bring it up. We were talking before the show that you've never seen it, and I feel bad as an animal rights person. It's my one sin. I know it's wrong because they probably did horrible things. These monkeys, but god damn it, makes me crack up. Because I gave you my DVD of the complete collection of Lancelot Link. For you don't know this, Lancelot Link was from I think the late '60s, and it was a chimp secret agent, and they actually used chimps. And I was shocked you've never seen this.
Right. I consider myself, kind of an expert in weird, media, forgotten TV shows. I can remember a lot of shows that I bring up to people and they say, "What was that?" I've never seen that. But this was new to me. It's apparently these chimps can't be happy. On the back cover, they're in a band. They've got these outfits as if they're playing these instruments. They don't look very happy.
What is the name of the band?
You can imagine the animal torture going on behind the scenes, poking and prodding to get these monkeys to act. It's not a natural. They're wearing these detective outfits. What walk me through this show. Like, what do they actually? Do they have missions they have?
I think it's loosely kind of based off like Get Smart because Lancelot Link is like the main chimp, And I forget what his secretary is, but he has like a secretary that helps him out. And there's also like a Dr. Evil or some evil. He has a name. I can't remember.
You gotta have a bad chimp to go against.
And I don't know if you have to look at it, but chimp stands for something. It's like the organization, the detective agency he works for. Yeah.
Let me see. I see secret chimp. It doesn't show the.
I cannot remember, but at the very beginning, the like start of it shows what chimp stands for.
Okay, let me name off a couple of these characters here. Okay, Link and his sidekick Mata Harari. Those are the two.
That's
main,
the boss.
right?
That's the boss that gives him the missions, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
These are the two main characters. They go into battle with the Baron.
Mm-hmm. Baron wears like a spectacle, which so monkeys trained to have a spectacle.
You know he's a villain if he's got just one half of his glasses.
His chauffeur Kratos, the Duchess, Dr. Strangemind.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking.
I want to see the dude in the monocle.
Wang Fu.
That's the racist one I told you about. When they actually make a racist chimp.
It's a very different age on television where
that was the '60s.
Very less PC than today, I would imagine. And
Nothing.
Ali Asa Singh.
I don't remember that one, but I remember the Chinese one. They like give him like the racist shit like buck teeth and mustache.
Just from these names, you can imagine the most racist stereotype imaginable.
Besides, monkeys are being dressed up and made to act. But again, I'm a very pro animal rights, and that's my like.
That it hurts your soul.
Watching it giggling, I'm like, I'm a son of a bitch, but it's so funny. Oh, I'm going to hell. But
I constantly give my girlfriend a hard time because she's that, we own a pit bull and she dresses him in human clothing all the time, and it drives me nuts. And I'm like,
oh my god,
he doesn't want to wear this stuff. And she's like, no, he gets cold. He needs to wear a sweater. And so, but to her credit, she says because there's terrible stereotypes about pit bulls and people have this stigma and this fear of pit bulls, that she's like, how can you be afraid of an animal in a sweater?
Well, I think you said it nice, like, well, unless the sweater has like a machine gun on it.
Hey, you have to be a breed ambassador, so we have to show that he's a big pussy in a sweater.
Now, can you see the misery on his face when he's dressed up? Does he just look?
No, did he look at you like, I don't blame her, I blame you.
Why are you letting this happen to me?
The funny thing is he actually goes along with it. He seems to like it. The pit bull is all about it. Our other dog is collie shepherd mutt, and she hates it. And Courtney has tried to put her in stuff, and she Jack. Her name is Jack the girl. My dog Jack the girl will fight and roll around on the ground and try to get out of her clothing. And so Courtney has finally backed off and given up. She doesn't try to put that dog.
So does it ever happen where she starts getting upset, he doesn't like his sweater? Why was he staying in his sweater? I'm just trying to put pants on you. Why don't you
I just want to dress you like a human.
Gosh, I'm trying to help you.
You have no idea what it's like being a pit bull owner. Every stupid stereotype you've ever heard is pretty much the exact opposite of what pit bulls are really like. Yes, if you were tortured and starved and neglected and abused, you'd be fucking mean too. So naturally they're these big cuddle bugs, and he's just this ridiculous, lovable thing that won't leave you. We have a 90-pound lap dog.
Oh, he's not threatening whatsoever.
Yeah. All he just wants to be loved.
Chad, just for a minute, back to Lancelot Link. I gotta know, is there a voiceover for that?
Oh, yes. And I think it's only 2 or 3 people do the voices, because you can tell they're horribly changed between them. And they must give them gum or put peanut butter in their mouths or something, because the chimps' mouths move as
now. Does it come close to matching the voice, or is this kind of like a Japanese movie? Where
it's mostly like a Japanese movie, because a lot of yawns turn into sentences.
Where the dub is 10 seconds off from how the lips are moving.
And like I said, I think it's only 3 people that do 12 characters, because sometimes it's a man. When you sometimes see British sitcoms, and it's a man doing the obviously woman's voice, and it's that's obviously the same guy, just did that voice, So
tremendous.
Again, we have the network on in the background. Some old NWA World Championship Wrestling. This is some old 605 Saturday Night stuff. We got Ric Flair and Barry Windham are beating up somebody.
I always wondered how you got tickets to the studio for this.
Probably local.
Because there's literally only like maybe 50, 60 people in this thing.
Kind of a thing of yesteryear when wrestling was taped, like mainly in studio formats, like just in a TV studio. Then invite like a minimum number of fans, like how many they could fit in there just to tape.
I mean, the thing is, I just wondered because if you're like some of those people are diehard fans, how in the hell do they get in the TV? Like, do they have to go down the TV station? And I guess that's how it was. They just went on the TV station. Took a number or something.
Yeah, it's probably like trying to get, tickets to Letterman or something,
Or Sally Jesse Rapid. Is she still on Phil Donahue? The Phil Donahue program, is that still on?
No.
It's probably the same as getting tickets.
I think he tried that show on, then he was on MSNBC or something and it failed, or?
Yeah, I believe. There was another, Morton Downey Jr. I used to hate that guy. Oh, such an asshole.
Oh, hey,
I think Piper gave him what he had.
Yeah, I was going to say, WWE alumni.
He asked him twice to stop blowing the fucking smoke.
He did ask him twice.
And it pissed me off. So he deserved the fire extinguisher. Did you ever watch his show?
Oh, yeah.
Infuriating.
Oh, yeah. It was one of the ones that was like, it was on late at night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Not super late, but it was later at night and shit. And it looked like it had a budget of like $10.
Right.
I mean, I don't think he could have made millions off that show just by the way the budget was and shit.
Right.
I kind of remember that, and I wish they would release it on DVD or something, because I vaguely remember the Geraldo show.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Where he got fucked up by, like, was it skinheads? A Klan broke his nose
or
something?
I believe a Klansman threw a chair.
Yes.
Yeah.
And hit him in the nose. I maybe get the facts messed up on that.
We'll go with that.
Some white power persuasion threw a chair.
Some racist white guy threw a chair at Geraldo.
Yeah.
Broke his nose.
But yeah, I was too young to really enjoy that, because that had to be great.
And Geraldo, kind of on a normal basis, had the satanic music documentaries or whatever, and the in-depth. And you immediately went out and bought all those records. All the best bands are affiliated with Satan.
Yeah, so. whatever Tipper Gore was all up in arms against with the PMRC, those were the records that you went out and bought.
Whatever had a sticker is obviously the coolest record, so you had to get that.
Yeah, I remember when that was going on. I think was it Slayer? I think it was Slayer. That when that was going on, they were stickering everybody's records, and it was this big thing of it's censorship, it's un-American. And so many bands were just like, nah, it's cool, man. As soon as they put that sticker on, we started selling more records.
A very young SG1 wanted to buy the 69 Boys cassette. Don't laugh at me. But I was so young when I wanted this, and it had a sticker, so I was like, I gotta have this. It was like forbidden fruit, right? But I had in my mind that I was going to be arrested immediately if I took it to the counter. So I'd have, thoughts of, maybe if I knew someone older, I could get them to buy it.
So you're trying to get a whole game plan together to purchase this tape.
Months and months go by just to get this 69 Boys tape. Because in my mind, I was so young that I thought, you immediately be taken to jail. But
was this that Camelot music?
Thankfully, I grew out of that phase. Camelot music at the mall.
You know what? That should be an upcoming episode. We should talk about what terrible music you listen to as a little kid. Because you usually really kind of develop your taste and discover what you're into in your teens and your college years.
I'm not really prepared to put myself out there like that. Even though I just told you the 69 Boys story, I'm not going to tell you what I listened to when I was young.
What we were bumping in elementary school. I think that could be a whole episode into itself. But speaking of, hey, we got to play producer here. We're starting to run out of time, so we're going to wrap up this episode. Again, every week we'll be back with a new episode. We're a month deep, 5 episodes in. So yeah,
just like King Kong Bundy said, 5.
Yes.
Am I right?
Need 5. and then Big E stole it.
Yeah.
And he's blatantly
stole
his
gimmick. As King Kong Bundy.
Alright, guys. Punks and Pinfalls, episode 5. We'll be back next week with episode 6. Also, next week, look out for episode 5 of Real Alien Talk with today's guest, SG1.
And Ben, if we find him.
If we find him from his crazy adventures. I'm telling you, he's probably in the Bermuda Triangle or something.
You never know.
Probably some vortex of some sort.
All right. Again, Rockstar Pro Podcast Network on Spreaker.com. See you next week, guys.